You're so brave. No, I just said, this is the second time we have to do this because he fucked up his sound. But we've been doing this for a year and almost 2 months now, and Maddie still doesn't think that I can be trusted to talk about something without talking about it first. That I have to be surprised.
And I
hate that because I don't like surprises.
Exactly. And I just want to say that I love your spontaneity and I love how you are.
You don't think I can
in the moment
do it? I live in the moment, bitch.
I know, which is why you don't recreate things well.
I
just want to keep it fresh. I want to keep the audience. I want the audience to discover with us, like that first time that you discovered that you look slimmer when you bezel on your left hip versus your right hip. I know that was a big moment for you.
Now you're just flattering me.
Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé. Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown. 90-day Beyonce. Marrying someone you only met on your phone. Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love. It's 90-day gate. Let's love.
Y'all, welcome to 90 Day Gays.
Welcome to 90 Day Gays.
This is Toe.
This is Toe. This is the season finale of the Toe that would never end.
Is it because here's the deal. This is 02, season 2, episode 22. Never Stop Fighting. I think it should be called Never Stop Filming.
I wrote down the same fucking joke. We've been doing this too long.
But seriously, let's just jump in. This is what I wanted to. I didn't bring up. I wanted to wait.
Again,
so
because I can't fake it.
You can't. Do you fake it in bed? You can't. I bet you can't.
Oh, I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, if I want to go to bed, here's all you do. If you've already been poked 1,000 times and you're on your second or third orgasm, you're just trying to go to bed. You go, oh, and you grab them really tight and you kiss them, and you're like, okay, it's done.
I'm okay.
It works well, women, and it works gay guys.
Well,
I seem to get these guys who want to fuck 3 or 4 times in a row.
Poor you.
I know.
Poor you. As all these women are sitting at home, just
going,
sitting there after their husband. Yeah, fuck
Carl's
them
wife.
for 30 seconds. Yeah, exactly. I'd love it that
I need to shut the fuck up.
Thousands of women just yell, "Fuck you, poodle." Okay, this was the shittiest job of promoting just the timeline of this show.
It was bad.
They haven't said anything about this being the season finale at all.
Nope.
And then there was no next time on 90 Day Fiancé this week. So does that mean we are not having a tell-all?
I don't think we're having a tell-all. Here's why. I don't think the tell-alls, the Zoom tell-alls, have been very successpeople at all.
Really? I thought one was really
leaked last time. It was leaked last time. People, I think they're completely non-compelling. I know you like them. I found them really ridiculous.
Really?
It was like a Jerry Springer tell-all.
Really?
And yeah.
Yeah, that's
or do you make notes like something Rachel Maddow to talk about later?
I'm Instagramming Sean Robinson right now, and I'm asking her.
Do it after our show, maybe. This is so ridiculous.
No, I would forget. Fine. I'll wait until later.
So
anyway,
here's.
You know what? I'm actually texting someone about something pertinent to our show while we're doing our show. You have responded to Trix about when you're going to be done with our podcast so they can fuck
But you know what? It's usually
during our show.
It's usually one word that says "fuck me" or two words. And you know
actually,
what?
You have a shortcut on your
for that. You know,
just if you press space bar, it says "fuck me."
It says "fuck me." It's a shortcut.
If you
my away message.
if you hold S down, it says "stick it in me raw in 15 minutes."
It's my AOL away message.
Okay.
Anyway, my theory, we're not going to have a tell-all. I think it was either the Zoom tell-alls were awful. I think it was possibly a couple other things. COVID, and you could tell the last 4 episodes were very rushed to this episode. Oh my God. We rushed through Brittany's story so quickly. We rushed through Ji-hoon and Deavan's. I don't even know what happened.
It was I'm confused by them. I'm so confused.
We had 22 episodes of will they or won't they? Will Ji-hoon grow up? Will Alicia like Ji-hoon? Will this happen? Will Deavan get the wedding of her dreams? Then the last segment of their show was like Les Mis 2.
Yes.
Like what happens after?
Yes.
And that's
someone make that
important.
musical.
But it what would happen? Let's see. Jean Valjean's dead.
He's dead.
Definitely be Cosette.
Dead.
I think Victor Hugo wrote a novel called Cosette. So it would be about Cosette. Cosette, you know, who wants to see that shit? I mean, she's the least compelling character in the whole thing.
Everybody wants to see not Marius, but that other gay guy who sings Red.
Enjolras.
Yes, I think he went on to be a Shankodi. He died too.
I think maybe I'm wrong.
God.
They all die. All the men die. I think Marius survives because he's a pussy. But there's really not a lot of people left.
Okay, well, glad to build that up. Let it go.
So I'm sorry, my nose has been itching me all day. I'm gonna sneeze.
Oh God, she's gonna sneeze. Everybody, hold on to your tits. Hold on to your ass. Wow,
that was a loud one. I was running today, and
oh God,
it's gonna be another one. I was talking.
You know, you can press the mute on your mic, and you can just mute it.
Yeah, but I want to walk you through this to walk you through my sneeze. So
Great.
as we.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm glad.
See, if I press the mute button, it won't do it.
No, I'm glad this is a free show. Jesus.
Anyway, I was talking to this hot guy who lives down the road when I was running because we were literally waiting for a car to go past, and I talked to him, and I've seen him a couple times, mostly on the apps, so I know he's a gay guy. And I'm just like chatting, and I'm like, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm like, don't sneeze out your nose. You got a lot of snot in there. Don't do that. Sneeze out your mouth. Sneeze out your mouth. And I was like, out my mouth twice. Then the last one was like, uh-oh. And I sneezed into my elbow, as we've been taught to do. And it's like Slimer from Ghostbusters comes out of my mouth and goes all over my shirt. I'm like, I'm sorry.
So you're not going to see him again.
Covered in ectoplasm. And he's like, oh, you're sick. I'm like, sorry, it's just allergies.
Wow. Wow.
He's like, see you around.
Did you just
another love affair doomed?
As you were just running, were you just telling yourself, I'm going to die alone. I'm going to die alone.
I'm going to die alone. I'm going to die alone. Yes. But it seriously, Slimer was on my shirt at one point.
Oh, God.
So where was I? The Ji-hoon Deavan storyline was just riddled with holes.
was.
I thought this was this, in a way, with finales, we're granted a kind of a story-based kind of a wrapping up, but we're never really granted what's happening after. And they did that on the first season of 90 Day Fiancé, but we because they didn't have a tell-all. And it seemed like they could have done that for this. And because they knew they weren't going to have a tell-all. So it is kind of ridiculous that I had to look online to find out what happened to these people.
I'm so sorry you had to do that work. I'm seriously sorry you had to do that.
I had to go to Us Weekly.
You used to love Us Weekly.
I know, but it's just, we live in 2020 now. It's just different. The world is different. I don't need to see who's canoodling with who.
I don't either. Speaking of canoodling, y'all, stop the press. Who is that? Vicky Vale. Andre has an OnlyFans.
Andre has an OnlyFans. Now, I'm almost certain going to join.
This is after he and his wife called Larissa a whore for having one. They called her a stripper, just for clarification. I just want to say hypocrite.
I would also like to say that being a stripper is very different than what Larissa is, because strippers have talent. Strippers can dance. They can. Larissa cannot dance.
No.
She does not really have talent for that. We saw her do a pole dance class, and it was horrendous.
We did.
So let's separate OnlyFans, Insta thought, nudie thoughts from strippers. Yep.
Now, y'all, this is my advice as far as someone who has been sucked down on OnlyFans before. I went down that road.
I've never done it. I've never paid for it. People.
I don't even remember the guy now, but some hot guy. You're like, okay, you know what? It was like a special, and it was like $8 for the month, and I'll do this.
That's not bad. You can cancel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I did. So here's the deal. They're gonna have the first week. It's the first month. It's gonna be just him working out shirtless.
Yep.
Second month is going to be him working out shirtless, and then like maybe getting out of the shower, and like he shows a little bit, like half his butt. Third month, full butt stuff. He's showing you his butt all the time.
Then he'll make you pay extra for a private pic.
Yeah, that's what he'll be naked, but not showing your dick, y'all. You see where this is going?
He's never going to show his dick. Never.
No, I think he will, but you got to give it like 8 months. Maybe 6 months.
Do it.
Yes, he will. He'll do it for money. Maybe 6 months, but I'm telling you,
I think a penis for straight guys is much more private than for a lot of straight men. It's like so private, you would never show your penis to someone. You show your butt. Women are just like, okay.
But now you never know. What's this guy? That guy from the Broman show, the Gladiator show. Someone told me he has one. He just fucks his girlfriend Chevelle or whatever her name was.
Jesus, and just
remember the blonde one.
Yeah, Dino and what is her name? Chanel.
Dino. Chevelle. Yeah, I love them as a couple, but now they just basically do an OnlyFans. So anyway, y'all, I'm just saying, like, save your money. I check in with people around the 5 or 6 month marker. That might be worth your while, but until then, you know what? Go spend it on some lattes.
I still say straight guys are much more, unless they're on like Plenty of Fish or OkCupid and go, here's my dick, you know.
Yeah.
But gay guys are like, let me shake your hand, here's my dick.
Yeah.
On apps. Anyway, we just don't really have any boundaries anymore.
We don't. Speaking of gay guys, we should mention that we did cover Mama's Boys. I love a Mama's Boy for this last week's Bi Curious, everybody.
Oh, and Matt and what's her name? I want to say Vicky. What's her mother? Who's his mother's name?
Judy Garland. I don't.
Yeah, the one who I called. What's his name from Land of the Lost? She kind of just looked a little weird.
Yes. We did cover that. We covered an episode. We enjoyed it. We had things to say. This was the episode where
we're not doing it again.
Yeah, and we're not doing it again, but it was a good episode. I do want to watch tonight's to see what happened at that dinner.
When that monster, Layla, brought a fucking blind date for Shakib to meet with Emily.
So,
no, she's not even human.
No, she's not.
She's been summoned. She's been summoned in some ritual. She's
like that clone Tyrannosaurus Rex from Jurassic Park that basically has just all the evil stuff.
It's just
of
evil.
Every mother-in-law to kill you.
I want to call her it from now.
Yeah, like not even Chris Pratt could appease her. Not even Chris Pratt.
No.
So there's that. But Poodle, speaking of Bi-Curious, it's the first week of December. What's happening?
We're doing a Bi-Curious this week. Y'all, you have asked and we listened. We're going to do, I think, the first of our Housewives shows ever that we've ever recapped.
We've never done that. Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to watch. We did one for Kate Casey's show. We did Dallas. We recapped one episode. And
that was
both
fun.
of us are not Housewives people. If you want Housewives, listen to Watch What Crappens. I almost said Brawny. Let's call them Brawny. That's their couple name. Ben and Ronnie.
Ben and Ronnie.
They've been doing that for like 3 or 4 years now. So they've got the Housewives thing down.
They've been doing it for like 9 years.
Really? They've been doing that podcast for 9 years?
They did it for 5 years when we started. So
good for them.
Yeah. So, but we are going to do Salt Lake City. We're going to be doing the episode that airs on Wednesday, December 2nd. Everybody.
So December 2nd. And we will put it out on Friday.
Yes. Also, y'all have
$8 Patreon.
Yes. Mama's Boy in Salt Lake City. Also, y'all don't forget the Poodle Home Collection. It's going strong. You are buying.
They're flying off the shelves, metaphorical internet shelves.
Yes, the Live Laugh Lube pillow has had a strong,
and so is the what is it? Who Gives a Shit? And surprisingly, the gratitude line's been doing very well. Grateful for my divorce. Grateful for my vibrator. Grateful for my meds. Those are also popular on T-shirts these days.
Yeah, good T-shirts. So go to 90daygays.com to the merch collection. And speaking of 90 Day Gays, y'all, you remember you have until December 4th. December 4th, this Friday, which is Mama Mar's birthday. You have until then to submit your submission for Come Name Us.
Come Name Us. Come Name Us.
Because Discovery sent us a cease and desist letter, and we need to change. We have to change the name of our show from 90 Day Gay. So come at us with in the Google Doc on the show links. You have to submit via the Google Doc, not on Instagram, not on Twitter.
You can't send either of us a DM.
Yeah. Unless it's a beautiful penis. Send that.
I love PMs. I love penis messages.
It's true. Anyway, y'all.
Though. Don't send me no third-rate penis.
It's true. We're kidding. Don't send it. We don't want to get sued. We're just kidding. Don't send us anything. Anyway. So I think that's all of our fucking announcements, right? We just got to have people submit.
Oh, we're at a record 17 minutes. But you know what?
Well,
we waited 22 episodes for shit.
Well, we did talk about the show for a while, actually.
Yeah,
we kind of went back and forth. Remember, though, if you do this, if your name does get selected as a new name for 90 Day Gays, we're going to fly you out to one of our live shows in the continental U.S. And then we're going to pay for your plane ticket, and then we're going to give you 2 tickets to our VIP seating for a live show. And but you got to get your own hotel.
Corona vaccination,
maybe.
I don't know what's going to happen with that. You'll have to carry on around a little card. Who knows?
Yeah, but they don't know how long they're going to work.
It's true.
So anyway,
let's talk about something that we know a little bit more about, and that is we're still fighting. We're still fighting in this very hot room. This room is sweltering. I could feel it watching it. Sumit is sweating down to his underarms. Sumit's father is wiping the sweat off of his face, and they're just sitting there. Jenny's just sitting with the fan going.
It it reminded me of when we were in summer camp and and our rooms didn't have air conditioning.
Yeah, I'm telling you all, I could feel the heat radiating off of my television as I watched.
And there was humidity.
Yeah. So Sumit is still fighting with his mom and dad. After last week, when his dad got in some, as we said, some really good insults, some really good one-liners.
Oh.
She's 100 years old.
He really did.
400?
And so this is when we see Jenny walk out and she's like, I'm not going to be the cause of this. I'm not going to be the cause of this. And then she's like,
such a fake move. This is, and of course she goes right back and sits her ass down and basically says, yes, I'll take him from you. Sure, think I will.
Because she says like, she's like, just let yourself be happy. There are way things worse than life in this. And I was like, again, I know you think there are things worse than life at this, but that's your
not for
American white. Like you've got to, I'm not saying you have to agree, but you do have to understand a culture. You guys, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go on record and say this. If you were moving to a country, it is your ethical duty and safety to learn the culture of the country. Whether you want to participate in those cultures or not, you need to know them and respect them. Whether you want to respect it or not, or do it or not, you got to respect what they are.
I think you're 100% correct. I have a feeling that the people who either they scout for this show are the people who you're talking about are the exact people that the producers do not want to cast because they want to see Americans behave with so much bravado and with so much ignorance because that's good television. So I understand what you're saying. And it is good. You should do that. We are on record saying you should Google. How do I get married to an Indian man? What do I need to do? Can I marry a man who is 30 when I'm 60? And will his parents try to kill me?
I bet you can find that on Reddit.
Yeah, I think the internet has a lot of answers, y'all, and a lot of porn. And a lot of porn answers. So I totally agree with you. I don't even think this is a case of her not understanding. This is ultimately a romanticized ideal for her that she's, in Jenny's mind, she's a princess in a castle and Sumit has saved her and their love will save them for everything. It doesn't matter about culture. It doesn't matter about parents. It doesn't matter. That's how romanticized and how out of reality she is. Why else would she have gone to, this is her third trip to India. She's 60. The time is running out on this.
It is running out. And she's kind of desperate about it.
It's her romanticized fairy tale that she thinks she has. And Sumit's got it too, because she's convinced him. Although it was his fault in the beginning from lying to her.
Yes. Well, and so they're very dramatic. The mom's yelling, Sumit is yelling. The dad's just kind of sitting there at this point. But
he's kind of resigned himself at this point.
He has kind of resigned.
Mom's not done.
But Sumit's saying things like, I'm not coming back into your house. I'm not ashamed. Not even 1%. I'm not dealing with you.
Shame. Full on shame.
That damn
shame. I wish I had a shame bell.
Our friend comedian who follows us on Instagram, we quote her a lot, Sean Pulaski, who, y'all, she's a very funny comedian. She does a lot of funny shit about 90 Day Fiancé. We should have her on sometime.
Sure.
But anyway, she has a hilarious comedian. You can find it on YouTube about that shame bit. But here's the deal. It's like the mother, she's like, Jenny comes back in and she's like, it doesn't matter. We love each other. She's saying shame, shame. And Jenny's like, what happened? What happened when you took me in your head house for 4 years? You had me laying eggs. Huh? You had chicken clothes made for me. You had chicken clothes made for me. You fed me scratch. You took me around. You let me mold my feathers. But you had pictures of us together. Of the clothes you had made for me.
I even
so-
licked your ear with my chicken tongue.
Wait, do chickens have tongues?
Yes. How do you think they eat?
You never see them.
The chickens have tongues. I think it's like an ingredient in like witchcraft, or you can eat chicken tongues.
Oh, look at that.
You're so afraid of them, you've never wanted to find out.
Nope, don't want to find out. So here's the deal, though, and y'all come at us because y'all read the news and shit more than we do about this show and all the memes But we know Jenny came back, and she says she was nice to me when I came 4 years ago and stayed at her house. And Mom said, but you were a guest. And Jenny said, that's all lies. She knew everything. But I thought even Jenny and Sumit said their parents did not know that they were dating. I thought that's the whole point, is Jenny's mom was nice being to a guest, not to his grandma girlfriend.
Well, we're really never going to know everything that went down. The show only presents in the storyline it wants to sell us. And the storyline they want to sell us is Jenny and Sumit's storybook romance, which is pretty fucked up story. It's like worse than Shrek.
Yeah.
Much worse, with much more yelling.
Because my inkling is, as soon as they found out he was in a relationship with her, then their relationship changed with her.
Yeah. I cannot even speculate. I know we've heard these things. But again, we read stuff in the news. A lot of what we do when we talk about this show is we're trying to, both of us are trying to see the story they're telling us and why and where the holes in the story are. And this is a huge hole because we don't know, because the show has never explained this, you guys. The show has never told us that Jenny boned Sumit in his room in their house. We found that out through another source.
Yes.
Through I guess people talking about it and doing interviews. I will say we do rely on some off non-show stuff, like Jeffrey being a domestic abuser. So that's one of the reasons we did not cover him. And we've heard a lot of Paul Karani stuff that is not covered on the show, obviously.
Yeah, but we normally don't.
We try to stay away.
I think you're right. It is like it's like with the Ari and Biniam. It's like, remember what they're trying to sell us about these people versus the reality. But
I will say something about those two. That started out something, and it became quite another thing. And I promise to you, about halfway because we started to see it right after the baby was born. She got the worst fucking at it. And something turned, and it was either that they said, okay, we're going to tell this story now because Ari is a crazy person. She's blah blah blah. She either she's not doing well. She's a nag. We're gonna tell this story now. Where at the beginning she was kind of that way, but we didn't see everything. Her mother was doing most of the talking. I knew I did not like her from the beginning, but it obviously became much worse. But we're going to talk about that later. So it seems that Sumit. The mom is basically saying, nope, you're not going to do this over my dead body. I will commit suicide right here. I will kill myself right here. And all I can think of is, with what?
Right. I don't.
Did you bring your arsenic and your pills that you always keep in your purse for immediate self
just guilt? Yeah. And then Dad looks at him and said, "She will commit suicide."
She will do it.
And
that's so terrible to do to your child. I did think, and it wasn't like I'll kill myself right here. It wasn't that kind of like mom hyperbole. It seemed pretty true, because for her, she would be shamed, and for cultural shame for that woman, obviously that's as good as death.
Yeah.
And he finally said, go ahead.
What? Well, Sumit. Yeah, that's what I was going to. Sumit says that, y'all. He says he won't do it. He says, "I don't want that to happen." Her. And did you see the evil smile his mother did?
Yes.
It was sinister.
That blew my mind.
It was sinister.
Yeah, it was chilling.
And then Sumit's an idiot, though, because he's like, so you've accepted that I'm not going to get married. And the mom's like, so you're sending her home? And he's like, no, This is about a compromise. And they're just sitting there. And I'm like, Sumit, you're so fucking stupid if you think your mom is going to compromise. Because guess what your mom is going to say a year from now? If you don't send her home, I'm killing myself. And what are you going to fucking do?
Yeah. You guys, if there are people in your lives who are manipulating you with saying, you know what, I'm just going to kill myself. If they will, to bend you to their will, they do that. That is a toxic relationship. And you need to try your best to either keep your distance if you can, or extricate yourself from that. That's toxic.
So here's my question. What would you have said to your mother if you were Sumit? And your mother said, if you do this, I'm going to kill myself.
Come on, let's see it. I'll call your bluff. Let's do it.
You know, I kind of think I would be a little bit like, okay, well.
I know, I'm like, let's do it. Me too. Let's get the razor. Let's do it.
Maybe this is coming from like white Americans because we don't understand the cultures of India. But still, I think in any culture, for any parent to say that to their child, that is like you said, it's horribly toxic and traumatic and abusive thing. I don't care what culture you're from. No parent should say that. That is abusive.
It's terrible.
And I kind of feel like I would be like, okay, then, well, that is your decision.
Let's do it.
Like, what? Sure.
I'm like, can I
that
get
is not.
Drano?
I would be like, not on me, bitch. Not on me. I'll open the oven door and we'll see ourselves out.
I think that's crossing a bridge. I think that's crossing a bridge with fighting with my family that I've never crossed. And I think if my mother said that to me, I would immediately realize that she had put her reputation above anything relating to me. And because it's obviously her shame is so powerful that she will do anything or the potential to be shamed is so powerful. She will do anything. She will kill herself before she allows her son to make her a laughingstock.
Yes. Now I'm not, and I think we both agree on this. I'm not saying that we're Team Sumit and that Sumit's in the right on this.
You don't have to say that.
No, I'm just saying though, but I think Sumit has been horribly shitty about this whole thing and very manipulative of his parents. And I think very manipulative of Jenny. Yeah. So very on both ends of the spectrum.
I think he's just been very childish.
Yes. But like what you just said, this is crossing a line.
It's a different bridge. This is the bridge to Terabithia, y'all. And you don't come back from that one. Did you read that book?
That's gay. No.
That was a great book.
Well,
the kid and the little girl, they were like playing and she died. I think she died. Which one died?
I don't know. I'll see the movie. Maybe My Girl.
What? No.
Maybe My Girl. One of them dies in My Girl.
That's him.
Bees.
Bees. Let's move on. Dad says, look, well, so he's like, what about, or Smith says 50-50 compromise. And mother's like, no. And dad's like, be happy with what you get. Let's go.
That is what he said.
Dad's trying to be rational here. Because I think she'll commit suicide through him too. But they're still looking at each other like they won. And it's pretty sickening, you guys.
It's pretty sickening.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's gross. Meanwhile, what I think is also gross is here again, Sumit is not going to marry Jenny, and he says he will figure out a way for her to stay in the country.
Maybe a sponsor. She's like, well, that wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
As they're leaving, Jenny's like, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I think it was one of my favorite parts of the episode. See ya never.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just so out of love with this relationship. It's such a contrast from where we ended last year because, again, we didn't know the whole story, but it's just this is just sad to me now. And this person I kind of just feel I'm just like, oh man, is Jenny pathetic? Because who lets someone do this to them?
You know what? It's not even a question of being pathetic. It's having no self-worth. Not being able to know your own self-worth.
Yes, it's not even like you have to get married to make a relationship valid. I don't mean that, but I just mean that
that's the way it is for her. Though.
It is. That's the way it is for her, and this is the goals that you've talked about in your relationship. And he keeps backtracking, and this is the third time now that he's not going to do a ring ceremony.
Yeah. It is the third time he has pulled the football on Charlie Brown.
Yes, and y'all, Charlie Brown, we love him. But he was an idiot. She really is a female Charlie Brown.
God, I always hated Charlie Brown. He was just like, it's not that I didn't even feel a lot of pity for him because he was just such a fucking loser.
I don't want these letters. I don't want people to come for us. Let's move on.
Everyone knows he was a loser. Come on.
Yeah, I'm just putting a pin in it right now. Now, I will say that. So Sumit is going to make it up for, and they go to this like not even a beautiful field. I think it's a cow pasture.
It's India. Parks are different in India, so cows are sacred.
Okay.
So
they are sacred. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like a part.
I'll let you back yourself into a corner on that one.
I don't care. I'm a dumb American. I admit it. So
it could be manicured better, I will say, but maybe the cows need to eat stuff.
It didn't. It could have been manicured better, but anyway. So they're in this park, but they are sitting on this cool little, like they're called Indian cots, and it's like that looked really cool, and it looked like, you know why they look nice, because you could sit on it or you could fuck on them.
Nah, there's no good sitting outside. It's all, after a while you're still standing up, and you need to bring nice seats. You need to bring like actual folding chairs, and that did not look that comfortable. Nope.
Especially for a woman. Let's be honest, y'all. Poodle and I talk about our aches every morning we get up, and we're fucking 40. When you're 60, oh my God.
So Jenny is going to apply for an extension on her visa, and but we don't know. We don't know. And Sumit brought wine. He's like, this romance. She's like, because we've kind of won. What
they do in Bollywood movies. We've
like
won.
Bollywood movies. We're like in the movies, Sumit, like Bogey. We had it all. Just like Bogey and Bacall. Stepping away to Key Largo. They think
I do not know that song.
Really? We had it all. We had it all. Just like Bogey and Bacall. I don't know who sung it, but
when you sing it more, it doesn't help.
It's shocking. The song is called Key Largo. My mother used to play on those easy listening channels, and I remember listening to it when she was taking me to piano lessons. And I was just staring out the window, dreaming about a different life than the one that I had. And Key Largo was playing on the radio. That's vivid. Whoa.
Wow. I basically had this same exact experience, but to Christopher Cross's Sailing.
It's the same kind of thing. You just missed the song. Yeah. Like it would have been played on the same channel.
I'm a big fan of Yacht Rock on Sirius XM in the summer, so I'm sure I've heard it.
It's total yacht rock.
Okay, I've heard it.
So they think of themselves as movie stars. They've made it. Their romance will continue. It's gonna, are they written in the stars? Are we paying for some crime? I'm all singing. I'm worse than you tonight. I'm gonna stop. And they're like, cheers to our struggles. And Jen doesn't even like wine. What the fuck?
She drinks wine. She's like,
And I thought maybe Jenny's sober, but then she drinks the wine. So it's kind of like,
I think Jenny's basic. She doesn't like wine.
She likes a good Boone's Farm.
Yeah. She likes a good Riesling.
Oh God. I love Riesling. Riesling. Like your mother. I love
Riesling. Yes. And so then again, y'all, we actually see on national television a man give a woman over 60 years old a motherfucking promise ring.
And she's grateful.
You know,
for it.
and she's grateful for y'all know if you've been a fan of our show or listener for a while, you know how I feel about promise rings.
I know. I need to design a Poodle Home Collection pillow for her called "Grateful for My Boniva," or what's that? What's the iron supplement women take? Oh God, Geritol. Grateful for my Geritol.
And she's like, I got my ring. And I'm like, this is so, you know what? I could see Sumit. Do you see him ended up cheating on her?
I don't think so. I
think so.
He's such a child. Because in a way, he really does. He thinks that his relationship with Jenny is like blessed by God. He's even saying that when it starts raining. And y'all, the gods aren't happy. They are crying.
They're crying. They're not mad. They're just like,
why are these idiots still together?
Oh, I'm so tired of watching this. That's what they're doing.
So I don't think he will cheat on her because I think he thinks their relationship is the most important thing in his life, and it's like one of the most important relationships in the world, and it's like it's magical,
possibly.
And I think
what happens when Sumit is one of those people, like you're saying, it always has to have the excitement of what's next. The excitement of what. So what happens when we settle into life and it's just life and there's not a what next? What does he do? Does he get bored? Does he look for someone else for the what's next?
I think he's so simple and he's so quote unquote honorable that he would not do that. He would not cheat on her. He would just be unhappy. But in a way, I think if they just went somewhere away from his fucking parents, which he will never do because he's such a mama's boy, they could actually maybe make a life.
And that's what really is upsetting about all this. You don't look. You might love Jenny, but you love your mother and your father more. So if you love your mother and your father more, then choose to have your life with your mother and your father and build that life with them and just choose that. But if you do love Jenny more than them, then choose Jenny.
Choose Jenny.
Choose Jenny. Move to the U.S. Move to fucking Switzerland. Move to South America. Choose Jenny and build a family with her.
Build a new family. I guarantee you Jenny's daughters would forgive you. I guarantee you.
Oh, I think if he finally did that, but he won't because he's a child. And Jenny at the end, she's like, this rings me. We're devoted to one another and we're not going anywhere. And I went, that's the
mother of
saddest thing, Jenny. You are going you're not going to, maybe she'll get an extension, but I'm like, oh.
It's a long, dark hallway for them, y'all. That's just it. Maybe
what they called my ass in college.
There goes old long dark hallway. Hi, boys. So I think we should take a little bit of a break. When we get back, I think we should talk about some good news with maybe some Kenny and Armando. Y'all, I ate the last piece of my pumpkin pie tonight. Thanksgiving done come and gone. like Christmas for my grandfather's drunk friend. When he dropped the alcohol. Christmas done come and gone.
You know what? I'm about to waylay us because this just reminded me. I heard a really good Grandma Hazel tonight story from my Aunt Peggy, and I feel like it's worth sharing.
I enjoy those.
So, y'all, I'm talking to my Aunt Peggy because we went over to have some beans and fried potatoes and sour and cabbage, which was delicious.
God, imagine the odors in that house afterwards.
It's true. It's true. So anyway, y'all,
you don't like cabbage.
You know what? She cooks it like collard greens, and it was delicious.
I've tried to make you eat cabbage, and you've always turned your nose up at it.
Yeah, just not.
You know what? Right. You just said no. You just refused to taste it.
You know, you're a good cook, but few people are Aunt Peggy.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
I'm sure Aunt Jane would agree. or is it? Oh, which one of your aunts is a good cook?
They all do better than others. Aunt Linda's pretty good.
Okay. So anyway, I don't think I've told this, but my Aunt Peggy tells a story about how we were talking a little bit about my grandma, and so we were talking about how she said, well, do you remember when, I did not know this, but basically when my dad's father was cheating on her, or when my dad's father was cheating on my grandma Hazel, she, her friend, I did not know this. I didn't even know, but he was cheating on her with, so they had their best couple friend was, I forgot the guy's name, and this woman named Alice. My grandfather was fucking Alice and staying over at their house whenever, but they had moved to a town called Atoka. And so from Atoka's a little small town, and
Sad.
And back in the 60s, Atoka was real small. So anyway, it was around the holidays, and my grandma, my dad, he said that basically he was working a job, and that he'd already left the house, like they'd already separated. But my Aunt Peggy was like 12 years old. She said, she worked at Anthony's. She's like, and I was working at Anthony's, and I was walking home from work. I don't know what that is. Anthony's is a clothing store, or it was in Ardmore.
Thank you.
And I was walking home. No, it's true. She said, I was walking home, and I saw my dad, and he was working a construction job, and he just looked so pathetic. And I knew that he'd gotten kicked out of the house. And she said, and I went back to Anthony's, and I bought him a shirt. And because their dad was supposed to come over that night. She said, and I bought him a shirt, and I was going to give him a new shirt with the money I had worked with. Wow. All of my family worked early. So she gets home, she gets this shirt, and then he comes to visit him. My grandma's in the back of the house, not talking to him. And then, and then he gets this shirt. He visits him for a little bit, comes and leaves. And then my Aunt Peggy says that he drives off. And then that's where one of my grandma's friend calls her and says, he's shacked up with Alice in Atoka. And my grandmother calls her best friend, whose name was, what do they call her? Ritzy. Anyway, her name was something like that, because she had bright red hair. Calls her. She comes over. They get in the Pontiac, the two-door, long door, those long Pontiacs. You know, with the ones with the long doors. You know that were four-seaters. That's what my grandma drove forever. All the 5 kids got, not my Uncle Jerry, he had already passed away by then, but all the 5 kids got in the car, and they're driving to Atoka. They don't know where that my dad's father is.
Why are they taking the children?
Well, nobody's going to watch them. So, back then.
What about Peggy?
She wasn't going to leave her kids. So my dad, Peggy, Darla, I don't think AW there, but Leonard was there. And my Aunt Peggy said she starts driving through Atoka. And she said Atoka's small. They don't know where he is. She just picks a street one side of town and starts driving through every street to find him, zigzagging through all the streets. She finally finds, she's like, well, there's his goddamn car. And she cuts up on the side of the road, and he's parked in the grass. And then she walks up there, and she sees that shirt that my Aunt Peggy got her father. It's hanging. She washed it and ironed it, and it's hanging in the yard. Like, oh my God. And that sent her off. And it was, Aunt Peggy said this was, it was a weird hot day. She said it was like a weird, 80-degree hot day. And they were sitting in the car with no air conditioning, boiling. And Alice said, because she knew, she's like, well, Hazel, why don't you get these kids in the house? And she said, they're staying in the car, but I'm coming in. And that's when she yanks. There's a screen door, and my grandmother yanks the screen door that it's locked off of its hinges. And then she goes in, and my Aunt Peggy said, I went in because I was old, and I went in. I don't even think Mama knows that I was in there. And she said, and she just grabs Alice by the hair and starts basically beating the shit out of her. And so then I know it all goes sad, but this is sad in their story. And so anyway, the cops call and she's like, and then her dad, Andrew, she's like, he was a piece of shit and a coward. So she stops beating up Alice and she starts to look for Andrew, and Andrew runs out the back and he's going to get his car. And my mom, and she said, grandma came out the front and there was like a decorative stone thing. And my grandmother picks it up and throws it through the front windshield of his car and glass goes everywhere. And he still, glass and all, gets in the car and drives away. And by then the police pulled up and the sheriff of Atoka is like going up saying, what's happening? There's been a disturbance here because the grandma's screaming and yelling and the neighbors are calling. And the sheriff is trying to, and the sheriff said, just to show how long this is going on, he looked at the house and pointed to Alice, but said to my grandmother, he said, ma'am, I'm sorry I don't know you, but this is the home of Mr. and Mrs. Marr. What has happened? So he thought, and my grandmother looked right into the face. She said, I got a news flash for you, buddy. I'm Mrs. Marr, and those kids in his car are that fucking cheater's children. How's that?
Wow.
And the guy said, you're excused to go. And she got back in the car and they drove home.
And so much
My
more.
Aunt Peggy said she smoked a cigarette the whole way home.
And so much more is explained. And the picture has one more little pica in it. No wonder where your father's infidelity comes from.
Just saying,
it all makes sense. It all makes sense. It's, sins of the fathers.
It don't fuck with Omar.
Why don't we go ahead and, I know I said we were going to talk about the gays, but I think we just need to talk about Brittany and Yazan so we can end on a happier note.
That's true.
Let's talk about they are going to dinner.
They are going to dinner.
And this is post the Obida
yes.
Obida session of when he told her,
Obida, yay, hey, I want to fuck your brother.
He is so hot.
Okay.
Like the whole family.
You guys, on Instagram, Yazan has another brother who's even
Kais.
Even hotter.
Yeah.
Who's like the hottest of all of them.
Qais.
I mean, it's
I
like
think it's Kais.
And
maybe.
y'all, even though the dad would kill his son, remember, we still think the dad was kind of hot too.
Oh, they're all bangable. They are all blowable. Definitely.
Lay me up like burger time.
What was the music of Burger Time? I can't remember.
No, I don't know.
Someone will send us that. So they are going to have dinner, and thank God Adam the translator is here. Someone tagged either us or Adam the translator on one of our shows. He watched and said, wow, they're wild.
Is that they're wild? I think he said, I'd love to be interviewed. Adam, we don't really interview people on the show, so we appreciate you reaching out. But unless you're Stacy and Darcy or maybe the gays, we're kind of keeping it at that.
Yeah. But thank you. We do plenty of shows. Yeah. We loved you. We love you. You I still don't know why you weren't called up halfway through their season.
Yes.
But that's me.
Yeah.
So he's basically, Yazan is saying things like to the translator, tell her not to worry about any of this. Obida is going to make things okay. But you should know that, and Obida tells them he is in danger. People from his family are watching on social media, and they think she is a porn star because there have been several pictures posted. She was in a bikini, and for that part of the family, they think that's pornographic.
Yes, and Yazan says, and I hope this is the truth, but Yazan said it's not really his dad. It's more of the extended family that's following her on social media and causing kind of all the ruckus and saying all these lies. I feel like there is a lot of truth to that, but I still feel like his mom and his dad and his mom were very
it's the same thing with Sumit's family. It's shame. Shame is what's powering all this, you guys.
Yeah.
And so basically there's going to be a meeting with Yazan's tribe, not just the family, but the tribe at large that they belong to. And then there's going to be, they're going to examine the evidence, and they're going to decide if they're going to kill him or just disown him. So it's a flip of the coin kind of thing.
You say potato, I say you're dead.
So
you say tomato, I say get the fuck out of the family.
And Brittany, again, y'all, she hasn't Googled Jordan once.
Again,
so
this goes back to what I said about your responsibility.
And even though we've had a lot of Jordanian sissies come at us and say this is not normal for Jordan, this is more conservative, more reactionary than most of the people who practice Islam in Jordan.
And even though it is, but this is his family, y'all. It's like the United States. We could be a very liberal country or progressive country here in our views,
or you could be like what's his name, Danny's family in season 2. And they're all very, very Christian, and they live in Pennsylvania. Yeah, poor Amy.
Actually, they're at least Amy. They're at least nice. I was talking about like fanatical, like Heaven's Gate bullshit. That's what I meant.
That's a cult.
Yeah, well, Danny's family's not going to kill anybody. I like that bachelorette party I took on it. Y'all, we're having fun with season 2, by the way. The OG season of 90 Day Fiancé is on her. That's season 2 of our Gatreon. So jump in that. That's at the $5 tier anyway.
And so she says, I just don't get why they're making these decisions. Very Jenny-like. I don't get why they're making these decisions for you. This is your decision. No, it's not.
Yeah,
that's
I wrote the
where
same
he
thing.
comes from.
It's
very Jenny
culture,
for you
girl.
to say that. And it's very frustrating to say, why won't they let you do what you want to do? And Yazan's sitting there like, because this is my family. This is what I must deal with.
You know what? That it is someone that would go to Australia or Britain and say, why won't they let me drive on the same side of the road as we do in America? It loses. Right. We do this in America.
Well,
no.
That's a little different because that's actual laws and not cultural.
It's a little different,
which are just as strong in some ways.
Yes. Yeah. And so it's still this. Yeah. It's frustrating.
I would almost compare it to you going to going to a Muslim country and saying, I'm going to eat non-halal food. That's just it. I don't care what you do. I'm going to eat non-halal food. I'm going to get or marrying into a strict Orthodox Jewish family and saying, nope, I'm not keeping kosher. That's just what I'm not going to do it. I'm an American. Why are you trying to make me do something I don't want to do?
It's like, if you choose to be an Orthodox Jewish person, you choose to eat kosher. Yeah. I mean, have you ever seduced an Orthodox Jewish man? Because you've slept with a lot of Jewish men.
It has been on my list for a very long time.
Jesus.
But I think it would come with way too many strings, and not just things they have out of their pockets.
Wow.
I always forget the name of those. Anyway,
I don't know.
I just so
it's ridiculous, and it's so Yazan.
Google is your friend.
Yazan says, forget about the culture, forget everything. If we decide to get married, that's the most important thing to him. Brittany, I just need to know that it's in your heart that you want to get married.
She's like, I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Which it's kind of good. She should feel overwhelmed finally.
Yeah.
And then Brittany says something that I was actually like, whoa. She actually says, I didn't want him originally to move to the U.S. because I wanted to make sure, she probably wanted to make sure he didn't want to use it for a green card. So
I was surprised about this.
And when she said, I don't think, looking at everything that's going on, I don't think it's safe for him to be here. And if we want to continue our relationship, that he needs to move to the U.S. for the safety of him. And that would be if he wants to go that moving forward. And I went, That's actually the first fucking adult decision she's ever had on this show so far.
I agree. And I've thought about it a little after, because of what happens in the end. Do you think that was completely in earnest? Or do you think it was trying to write her way out of this story?
I think, I would have told you.
Because I was surprised when she said it, and then I thought something else near the end.
It just depends. If the producer already said, hey, if y'all stay together, you're going to be on before the 90 days, then I think it was not earnest. But I kind of do think, I do feel for Brittany, and that her naive bubble has popped. It has popped this last episode. It's popped this episode. She's finally seen the world that she's in for the world that it is. I actually think she finally is. Even just the demeanor and the look on the face and the way she walks around the city, she just looks kind of a little bit more shell-shocked and just like, whoa. And I think maybe she does love him.
That is very interesting, because I see her anytime she's in a situation where she's taken on heavy things. There is that shell-shocked look on her face, like someone who is still processing some kind of trauma. We've talked about that. And I think she has to probably go back to America before she can fully process it. And before she processes it, she'll just forget about it and go back to making rap videos.
Now, I do think that. I do think she probably right now feels like I need to go back to these States. Hopefully he'll go back to the States. Who knows if he'll make it there, because I do think she'll go back to the States and either meet someone else or kind of fall out of favor with this and realize this is just too hard.
And he's terrified she's going to change her mind, because he kind of knows her,
Yeah, because y'all guys remember the voice of reason on this season. Oh, that rhymed. I'm a poet and I don't know it. But Angela, when she tells Angela, yeah, so Yazan could die if we're together, she's going to be like, honey, cut the cord. Let him go.
Yep. Angela would say that. And she says, he's like, Yazan says, well, there's a saying in Jordan, if you're away from the eyes, you're also away from the heart. And she's like, I don't know what the future holds to him. And that's exactly the last thing he did not want to hear.
It's not. So it's ironic. He's the one actually he's the one that's been trying to do all this stuff, but now it's like it's switched where she's kind of starting to see things for what they are. But I do think he's an idiot to tell her, don't worry about the danger. Don't worry about this. Just tell me if you love me and you want to marry me or not.
I think,
so I can own it.
I don't know if it's that extreme. I think he is extremely sheltered. Extremely. And supposedly the first woman you kind of get fascinated with is the woman you will marry. And it's this really pure relationship between the two of them.
Micah Plath talked about that on Plathville. Yes. Like when you first meet someone, because Micah Plath, he wants to be single now and he wants to play
single and ready to shake his dingle.
Oh, Plathville is so good.
Yeah. It is a fantastic show. If you're not watching it, you should be. I really believe that it's for him. He's following a script of what men in his family do.
Yeah.
He's following a script, and it says, I'm in love with you because that's what I say to women who are my first love. And you are unlike a lot of other women. And he's saying he's following the script. He doesn't have any authentic feelings.
But it's the same script, wrong cast.
Totally.
That's kind of like that Whitney Houston song. This is a replay of my life. I was a fool too many times. This is older Whitney, and the chorus was same script, different cast. It's about a guy cheating on her, and it's a cabaret song, and I just realized we're singing it. I just realized we're singing this about a man who cheated on us. It's Whitney Houston and is is it Faith Evans or Brent? It's some woman singing about they both fucked the same guy, and she was like, "Girl, this is just the same script, different cast. He pegged me too."
Sounds terrible.
Come at me. It's kind of a drag queen song.
It sounds pretty obscure.
And it's a lot of like script and movie and cast analogies that are horrible.
So they're meeting later with Obida, and they tell Obida about the K1 visa, and he says, "What is Yazan's decision?" And he says, "I want to go, because she tells me she will be happy with me there, and I will be with her because I'm following my script, because this is what I do." And I think we all forget Brittany was married until like 3 weeks ago.
Oh my God. I forgot about
I'm telling you, I forget it every time she's on the screen. That subplot, that was the most important subplot when we started this season. We have slowly forgotten about that because shit got real.
Wow, y'all. Yeah, she
Remember,
was married.
it reminded me about that. Shooter the dog on Twitter. You can follow Shooter the dog on Twitter, or Carl, the real Carl's. I always get it wrong. Or Carl_Reels. Carl's wife.
So. Carl's wife, and also Carl.
I don't know how he knows how to tweet.
He probably has a secretary. He's fucking do it.
Oh, don't say that in front of Carl's wife.
She didn't hear that part. I'm kidding. He's too fat and can't get it up to sleep with other people at this point. So y'all,
Obida does say, "I can convince my father. If you want to leave, I will convince them that you'll be safe here, and that things
you can move back in with them.
Yeah, and we'll work that out." The next day, you guys, borders are locking down because of COVID.
Yeah.
And she's getting out before the borders are locked down. And he says to her, "I love you." And she says, "I love you too." And this is when I realize this was an attempt to be on television.
Oh, you're just now realizing that?
No, it's complete. No, I knew it was in the beginning, but just her face now, she's flipped a switch in her head. She might have been going through it. It might have been in this kind of fiction for her, this kind of, this is your life, Brittany, kind of, I'm walking around this adventure I'm having. She's totally flipped. This is an attempt to be an influencer on television. Yes, I knew it was, but I thought she might actually have feelings for him. Nope. I saw it in her face. I think it's done. Even though they're still supposed to be together. Who knows?
Well,
what do you think? Do you think she has feelings for him?
I don't think so.
Do you think she'll ever marry him?
I don't think she'll ever marry him, but I also don't think that's a whole other separate thing, because I don't think Brittany would marry a lot of guys that she's into because of past trauma shit. But I think there's a lot of I think Brittany probably feels, I think in these last couple episodes she's feeling dumb for not knowing more. I think she's in a little bit of a shame spiral for that. But I do think overall, I think she did this to be an influencer on Instagram. I think that was probably her number one reason. And honestly, judging by Yazan's Instagram, I sometimes wonder if he was in the same boat.
He's been super radio silent on her, though. He has only been posting stuff on his Instagram. Hasn't said a thing about Brittany.
But I don't think she said much about him, has she?
I don't know. I don't follow her.
Yeah, so I do think
boys, Obida and Kais.
Yeah, I do think this was, though, she more than anything, she wanted to promote her again, this what I've said before. This was a game. It was all a game put to get a publicity game. Now, I think maybe these last two episodes she was a little bit like, fuck, this game is now, someone could die. Yeah. I do think she cares for him, but I just think Brittany is gonna maybe care about herself more.
Yeah. I don't know if we've seen someone on this show, whether it's 90 Days or the other way, with this transparent of a motive.
That's a good question.
To get somewhere, to leverage her own clout.
I think maybe
was clout chasing.
I think maybe Jeffrey, but we didn't watch his season. We skipped his stuff, but I think maybe Jeffrey.
Yeah, possibly. He wanted to be a star, a movie star again.
Or Anna. She really wanted to sell some honey, y'all. I'm kidding.
I think she really. I think she.
No, I'm kidding.
Anna,
she loves Marcel.
Anna fucking loves Marcel. God knows why.
You know what? Who knew that Anna and you would miss Anna and Marcel after this season?
I do.
Like if someone said we're going to do Happily Ever After Anna and Marcel, I'm like, I'm all in. I'd
watch them. Boy, we become so when we remember how or just to have Juliana, Michael, and Sarah back on again.
Y'all, and by the way, I just want to say this. If you are on Instagram and you follow Max or Maxwell.
Jessen?
Y'all,
Jessel?
I think so. Julie.
Max's son or John Michael's son.
Max from Max's CC. Apparently he's been getting a little bit of online bullying because of his weight. And as two kids who might have been a little pudgy, Poodle and I took this personally.
You were bigger than me, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so y'all, I sent him a message from us on our 90 Days account, and he responded. But I just want to say, feel free to flood his Instagram with positivity, positive comments. Send him messages. Tell him he's the funniest fucking cast. Yeah. Don't say fucking. He's a kid. But tell him he's the funniest cast.
No one deserves that. His father made that decision to go on that show, and I know we don't come for kids in this show. We've come a little bit for Drusilla, I will say.
That's a little different because she
is a reflection of Deavan.
Is a reflection of Deavan, but also too, I hope none of our sissies that listen, I hope none of you were any of those commenters who commented on his weight. But if you are, I just want you to take a breath and remember that you're commenting about a kid. And how would you feel if you were that kid? And please don't do that.
I seriously doubt that anybody who listens to us would do that.
I'm pretty sure. And if you disagree with me and you feel like you have every right to comment on a kid's appearance, please unsubscribe from our podcast.
Unsubscribe because you're wrong. And that's just nasty. Why troll someone anyway?
I don't think a lot of our listeners have either. So please, please, please.
Unless you're why troll someone? I was going to say if there was anyone to troll. You can troll Paul.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah, do it. Yeah.
Or
Avery.
Maybe Avery.
Not Avery of Omar and Avery.
No, Avery and Ash. Yeah,
Avery and Ash. Troll Avery.
All you want to. Oh, she's so disgusting online. Oh, she's awful. And talking about clout chaser, she's a huge clout chaser. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. I think she was also chasing clout. I think she so on that season too. I would
actually think probably
Avery
more than Brittany.
I would put Avery in the same back.
And actually, y'all don't troll anybody because trolls are horrible. But I will say now that you're saying that, there is a part of me that thinks within these last two, I don't think Brittany is that great of an actor. And I don't mean that as a dig. I mean that I do think that maybe if it even wasn't Yazan, I think, yes, she wanted to be noticed and have more Instagram likes, but I do think that she was in love with the romantic idea of going to a quote unquote exotic country as an American and doing that. I
totally agree with you. Yeah.
So I think that's where I was pausing before because I still don't know enough to separate. Was it Yazan that she was in love with or the idea of Jordan and Yazan?
I agree with you. There was just a moment where it all got real for her.
Yeah.
When as soon as he said, yeah, I want to go with her. And Obida's like, fine, I'll convince the parents to let you come back to the house until you can come to me. There was something that happened where she went, this just really got real and overwhelmed. And I could see it in her face. She already decided it was over that morning.
When you're in relationships or sexual encounters, when does it get real for you, Poodle?
When is it over?
No, when is it when does it get real?
Oh, when does it so in a relationship, when I'm dating someone, when does it get
Or
real?
just you're
like,
fucking them and you want to be done. But when does it get real for you?
like,
Or you remember the last time you were like, whoa, this just got real?
I think when I kind of think about someone more a lot, you know, when I'll think about them and wonder what they're doing at any time of day. I think that's something, or if I'm not exhausted with them at the end of the night, I just want them to go home, or if I could talk with them some more.
Okay.
That's when it gets real, because I have a very low tolerance for people.
It's true.
As I said before, people love me. I just hate people.
It's true.
They're exhausting. But yeah, in sex, as soon as I've come, I'm like, okay, it's over. Get out.
You know, honestly, for me in both relationships or sex, if it's 8 inches, it's real and I'm there for the long haul.
That's all it needs to be for you.
That's all. I'm simple man. Simple man.
Simple pleasures.
Simple pleasures.
That's basically all I have.
She does say, and maybe this is a producer, she says at the end, Brittany says, I don't know if this is the right relationship for me or if this is really the right relationship for him. He stands to lose a lot by marrying me. This is the first time Brittany has ever said something about Yazan's experience in their relationship.
Oh, don't pull over.
Don't pull over.
Don't pull over. It's the first one of the evening, though.
It's true. Yeah, and maybe the signs are there because there's some more homosexuals coming around the corner.
Warning, homosexuals. Warning, homosexuals.
There will be glitter. Warning.
So, oh, Jesus.
Golly, I hope they're okay.
I just wish they were quieter.
Well, you know.
So they got an email. Kenny and Armando, we're talking about,
Armando.
They got an email from the Human Rights Division or something. I wrote HR, but not that kind. Third pass.
Boy.
This must be a big fire, or a lot of old people have COVID. Anyway, so they've been on lockdown, and I think that's why their story. We haven't seen a lot of them since the mid-season started up back again. Their story was, maybe there wasn't as much drama.
Sorry. That's it. I was going to say, because Deavan and Ji-hoon were on lockdown and we got plenty of drama from their lockdown.
Yeah.
They were on lockdown because you guys, I love them and there's just nothing, they're not dramatic. They're two sensible adults.
It's a wonderful thing.
This is what we need. Boring. No, I don't think they're boring at all. Actually, I think No. But I mean, like from a reality show perspective, they are kind of boring in that there's not a lot of drama between them. However, I think y'all, if like we hung out with Kenny Armando in Mexico, we would get drunk. It would be a great time. I think it'd be super fun. So I think they're fun in real life, but there are people that always say like, "Oh, my life would be a great reality show," and I'm like, "No, really, it really wouldn't." But this is what I want to happen now. I love Ken and Armando. I love them. I think they're great, and I love what they've shown for gay people on this show. They were the first representation of two gay men on this show. They did a much better job as far as a relationship than Stephanie and Erica, bless their hearts. Yeah. Although there was good drama. This is what I'm just saying. Okay, TLC, we got the good. Now I need some fucking crazy. I
need some nasty ass trap gays.
I need a gay queen from Azusa who is marrying someone from fucking like South America.
With drug problems.
Yes.
Like full on West Hollywood queen.
Yes.
Out with booty shorts.
who is on wants an open relationship, gave their boyfriend syphilis. Yeah, like I need the hot. Now that we've had the good, I need the girl.
He goes right to Dick Riviera. Just so, and he's
exactly
cheating on the fiance nonstop.
Or like some gay guy who met someone in Serbia because they were doing Bellamy. They were doing Bellamy porn, like on a porn shoot.
I agree. Justice for slutty gays.
Yeah,
they gave us the respectable ones first.
But Kenny and Armando were the first ones, so they made us all look good. So that way, people in Ohio aren't scared of gay marriage. Or not Ohio, but Iowa.
Give us the mincing, prancing, just fucking gross, puking, like just messiest queens possible.
Yes, basically any gay guy that was on that seat that was on Gay Next.
Oh yes.
But anyway,
I don't know. Capture me at my worst moments. I'd be a great contestant.
Wonderful. But let's talk about love and the beauty of love. So you guys, Kenny and Armando's checking the email, and I love this about Armando. He's like, so I'm waiting for an email from the human,
Read it to me.
And basically Armando's like, so I called them so much they told me to stop calling.
He's so funny.
He is so funny. And then Corona hit and everything's kind of been closed. And this is what is so sweet, where Kenny is like, the best part of this COVID thing is that I've been able to spend so much one-on-one time with Hannah.
So sweet.
It was so, so cute. And so you guys, their request has been solved. And with this document, and this is what is, I think, if they're not in prior seasons, or I'm sorry, if they're not in forthcoming seasons, this is what y'all. We need to fucking see a Kenny and Armando wedding on television, or I'm going to be pissed off.
I think they're both cultivating enough of an online presence right now. I think TLC has plans for them.
Because you're going to tell me you're going to fucking show me Deavan and Jihoon's wedding and not show me Kenny and Armando's wedding? I will throw the computer.
I think TLC knows they've found the fan favorite couple.
I need to see love. I need to believe in it. Y'all, if they get married, mark my words, Poodle will sob.
I will. I cried when they got engaged. Especially Armando. Especially when Armando tears up. Because Kenny cries when he drops his contact lens. But that's just him.
Yeah, that's just him.
But I will say they both get teary when they read that, and they're going to tell Hannah, and they're so excited.
Oh.
And I did tear up here when
this was sweet.
They said we're going to be a family forever, and she said, "Kenny, will you be my real dad? Will you be my real dad?" And I did. I teared up, and it was really, really sweet. Just happy to see two men getting to have what
everybody else gets to have,
opposite sex married couples have. Yeah.
Because again, a juxtaposition, y'all. Think of that. We're like, oh, it looks so sweet at the wedding. Jihoon's dancing with Drusilla. How often do you actually see, Kenny wouldn't be able to do that at his wedding in a lot of places still.
No.
He wouldn't be able to dance with Hannah like that. By the way, Hannah's face was beat to the gods for this. She had a lipstick. Y'all, Hannah, she glowed up. Even though she was already beautiful, she was like, okay, I'm on TV. Her hair was done. She had some bronze. She was beat to the gods. She looked beautiful. But yeah,
I will say, y'all, the gays know how to put a room together, too.
They do.
There's Hannah in Laverne and Shirley lettering written on her wall.
It was cute. You should send them a pillow from the poodle. I bet Kenny would fucking love Who Gives a Shit pillow.
He would like it. I think they're a little nicer than I am.
But I could see Kenny putting the pillow to say Who Gives a Shit, and every time Armando walked by, he would turn it over, and then Kenny would just turn it back over. So y'all, they go to the beach, and they have this kind of beautiful moment where Armando basically says, and he starts crying, but he's like, basically, ever since you moved here, everything in my life has gotten better. You've given me new happiness in life. And this goes for anybody. He says, it's truly amazing to feel free.
Mm-hmm. He said, you gave me a new chance at life. And that's what Armando says. And Kenny says, and Armando also says, kind of completing the cycle, I realize there's nothing wrong with our love, that I don't need to worry about being with you and in public, and I don't need to. Yes, I was afraid of for our safety, but in one way, I was always thinking there was something wrong with it. And now he's like, "There's nothing wrong with us. It's everybody else's problem."
It really, it's this catch-22 of like where some people struggle with Kenny Armando. They're like, Kenny's trying to make it come out too early, and it's such a balance because
I still think that was producer driven,
possibly. But I mean, someone who's
that was
Well, somebody who's experienced that personally in their own relationship, it's a hard balance, and it is, but it is so true that if you are that person listening and you think people are, whether you're trans or queer or gay or hell, even if you're like an older woman with a younger kid, whatever, I think a lot of you that are listening are in different types of relationships, and you think, well, it's shameful or wrong, y'all. I think love is love, and that it's become cliche, but it actually is true. Love is love, and you guys, it really is. Try to extend yourself and go beyond your comfort zone, because you will see. Because he's right, don't you think, Poodle? Wasn't there there was like a click one day for me when I went, oh, I don't give a fuck if anybody judges me for being gay. This is just who I am. And once you have that click, it is a freedom that you will that changes the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of like I don't have to. I'm not worried about if I jump over a puddle and fling my arms up. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about seeming that way. But because we didn't grow up that way. Things are very different for kids now. Things are very different for kids who are 10, who are kids who are 12, kids who are 15, kids who are 18. Very different now. Which, thank God they are.
So, not to bring it down a notch, but I thought it was cute. They do. I thought it was cute, but what did you think of Kenny and Armando matching?
Ugh. I have a real problem with it. Like, I have a problem with their matching types of kind of veneer shirts, those kind of sateen shirts they're wearing in the confessionals.
In different colors. I think it's cute, but I knew you would hate it.
And Mitchell from Modern Family. And it was overnight. As soon as they got engaged, then they were in that. It was like there's nothing else. I don't know. I never have a need with a partner or a boyfriend to be matchy. In fact, I will do anything I can do not to dress in the same way they are.
Boy, that's a metaphor.
Yeah, because I'm unique.
Oh,
I'm unique though.
Oh God! Can we just end the show on that?
I hated the white. I hated the white matching. They might as well have worn white and khakis.
Because they're riding horses. They could take pictures. It's like when your mom has you wear all denim. It's matchy. It goes together in the picture.
Yeah, but they wore it so they could look cute in pictures.
Yes, because this is like a Professor Love. We're getting them. I guarantee you, they did a picture session on the beach. Come at me.
I'm sure they did. Yeah. But did it have to be matchy to look cuter? Why would that be?
But it just complements everything.
Anyway, we all have our different personalities, and we don't need to do things just for photo shoots. Sorry. If someone wanted me to do that with them and wanted to match with them, we'd have a real problem. And I guarantee you, I would go to the mat on this, and we would wind up. If he was like, no, I wanted to look good for photos. I'm like, fuck you and your photos. This is life. I don't want to look like you. We're unique people. Yeah, I hated the matchy. I hate it. I hate when people matchy in pictures. Oh, I hate it.
Y'all come at Poodle with your matchy pictures. I'm here for it. Come at Poodle. Please tweet him, Instagram him. Also, y'all, I want to remind you that
we didn't talk about the horses. They ride off on horses like at fucking Brokeback Mountain. Which
Armando said it made me think of a gay movie, and then Kenny was like, I can't quit you.
First of all, Brokeback Mountain, yes, it's a gay movie, but doesn't end well.
Doesn't end well.
I wrote before even they said that this makes me think of a gay movie. I wrote down, this is so gay.
I don't understand how you can't even like Anne Hathaway a little bit because she's so fucking good in that movie.
I don't hate her performances. Anytime you hear her interviewed, you want to like smash a rock in her face.
Okay, you know what? You never. Maybe you said that, but that's a good distinction. I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
She's
I don't
absolutely.
want to do that, but I still
she's
would like to hang
absolutely
out.
terrible. She's good in that.
I really hope you end up fucking and dating her gay brother.
I could count 5 performances that I like of hers.
God, I hope you can marry her gay brother. That's really what I want for you.
Anyway, that's the gays, y'all. That is the end of part 1.
Well, we're gonna do we're breaking. Last time we did it all in one because there was not as much. There's too much in this one, mainly because Poodle went off on his matchy tangents, and
we heard your grandma Hazel
and
story.
I had a grandma. So y'all, sorry, it was too much. We will say, y'all, come at Poodle on Cameo. You can come at me on Cameo too. I've got to do 3 after this, but come at Poodle on Cameo, y'all. He is really going at it with his Poodle Boudreaux.
With my grandmother, my great grandmother, Poodle Boudreaux Remington. I made one today about a woman who was the town slut.
And this is great, y'all. And listen, if you need the perfect Christmas gift, I've already ordered it from Amazon. It's on the way. Poodle has found out he is another relative, a Charles Dickens relative, to do all of your Dickens Christmas letters to your friends and families.
We have not talked about this, and I'm not happy about it.
No, but y'all come at Poodle because you're his new relative. What is her name?
Dame Edith. Well, I called her.
You said Dame Esther Poodle.
No, maybe it was Ethel. Dame Ethel.
Ethel Poodle.
It had another name. I can't remember the last thing.
Someone will tell us in the squad. It was like not Remington. That's too much like the other, but it was something. Anyway, y'all, he found out he has a great aunt. And so you come at him with this cameos and get your Dickens Christmas.
What did you order?
I can't tell you, but it's coming to your house. Anyway,
my apartment already looks like a theater teacher lives here. There are wigs everywhere, accessories. I did a cameo and they asked for you today, and I just had a red wig on my hand. It was perfect. And then I just threw it down the ground at the end.
That's great.
And we tried to sing the theme song with me. And then the wig, like you normally do, fucked up. So
perfect. Y'all,
anyway,
if you want Poodle and I to be together in a cameo, not going to happen for the rest of the year because
not going to happen because he's not going to be here the rest of the year.
I'm going to be in Oklahoma.
Goat.
Y'all, that is the show. You can go to 90days.com for now, but you can go to 90days.com, find out all their shows. Sweet Tea Southern Charm is back this week. We've got Welcome to Plathville on our Patreon. We've got
By Curious on Friday.
We also, if y'all haven't listened last week, y'all highly recommend our interview with Teresa Caputo. That was so fun.
So good.
So great. She has a new...
I've heard nothing but great feedback. But she has a new podcast called Hey Spirit.
Yeah, she does readings of celebrities and people, and y'all, she hinted that she is going to have Darcy on her show for a reading.
Oh my God, love.
So anyway, we're excited for that. So y'all should be tuning into that.
She basically told us she was doing Darcy, and she could not stop laughing about it because it must have been just like she is on the show.
Now, y'all, I have to say, when we interviewed her, they told us not to. We interviewed her because she has her show on Acast, so we like to help out other Acast network shows. Yeah, and so she
not to ask about readings or
any of that. She just kind of out of the. We're not going to say what, but she kind of came at Poodle and I both at the end, and we were both shook and emotional.
Mine was earlier, and yours was kind of a freak out, but mine was earlier, and she was talking, and I just kind of felt the back of my neck stand up as soon as she was saying things. And I'm like, that's so weird that you say that because blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but mine was like several people emailed me like that. They were like, that was fucking freaky.
Yeah.
So anyway, y'all. Okay, everybody, we call these people lonely hearts because, Poodle, aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for all the love we can get?
Yes. And if you decide to look like Mormons, gay Mormons, riding off onto the sunset on gay stallions, call us.